Hi, everyone. Welcome to I Get Asked This a Lot. I apologize for the glare on my glasses. I need better lighting in here. I will try to keep my head tilted like this. That's why I'm doing it. But if I go like this, I apologize. I'd like to thank my wife for helping me. She came up with the name I Get Asked This a Lot as I was telling her, describing to her what I'm doing. And I will thank my daughter, who will be 12 next week. She is making an intro video for me, so that'll be fun to add that into videos in the future. Today, I'm going to be going over Cohesity Cloud Archiving. I'll do some setup in Azure and AWS and show you how to configure those services. If you don't use Azure or AWS for anything today, and certainly there's more options. Those are just the two that I'm going to be going over. But it's a very great solution to use with Cohesity for tape replacement, for long-term retention of backups. It's very affordable. So let me share my screen. And I'm right here. I'm in the AWS console right now, and then I'm in the Azure portal as well. I'm certainly more comfortable with Azure. I like it better. I'm allowed to say that. They're not paying me. And I actually just learned AWS this morning. I set up a free account. I think they give me 5 gig of S3 storage for free. But this morning was the first time I'd ever signed into AWS. So don't be afraid of it. It's super easy to use and configure for S3 storage. So the first thing that I had to do in AWS was configure permissions. I'll show you. There's a few different ways to get there for configuring permissions. I just went to my security credentials, and then I created a group called S3 admins. If we go into that group and look at the permissions, it has a policy, Amazon S3 full access, right? I didn't have to create that. I just had to choose it. So super easy. Then I created a user, actually created a couple of users, and I created one for myself, put myself in the S3 admins group. Then I created one called Cohesity Archive. That's what I would suggest you to use, would be Cohesity Archive. Once you've created that, go ahead and go into it, make sure it's added to the S3 admins group. It gives you that in the wizard when you create a new user. Go into security credentials, and it will actually create this access key for you when you create the user. But if you ever need to create a new access key, you go ahead and create the access key. I'm going to go ahead and copy these. It'll show the secret key, and I'll copy that one as well, and we can download a CSV file, whatever. We're just going to need that information when we set it up in Cohesity. The next thing is we need to create an S3 bucket. You can just go to all services, search for S3, right? Pick S3. There we go. I've already created one for, I get asked this a lot, and creating a bucket, again, super easy. You create a bucket, name it. There we go. So I'll go ahead and open this, and then create an access point saying that it can be accessed through the internet. Of course, you still need the keys and everything that we set up. So then in Cohesity, you go to inventory, external targets. I've already set this up, but if you were setting one up, register external target, you give it a name. You say it's for archival, not tiering, and then you pick AWS, you pick S3, standard, and unless you're government or C2S, the bucket name, and here I'll just go into the settings of this one. This is the information that I put in. I put in the bucket name, the region, it's Ohio, so it's US East 2. And if you're not in US East 2, US East Ohio, you can just Google, hey, what's my region? And it'll tell you. There's a little map. And then you use the access key and the secret access key that you copy and paste out of the S3 management console. We want to encrypt that data in flight, right? We always want to do that. That's a good thing. We want to turn on compression. We want to turn on the source side dedupe, so we're only sending deduplicated compressed blocks. Everything's great. We're going to do incremental archiving. And, this is my lab, so I don't use bandwidth throttling. I think most customers, most people out there are going to want to use bandwidth throttling. It's super easy to set up. You can see it right here. If you need to change your time zone, you can. And it's just, hey, upload. Probably going to be something like this, right? From, I don't know, probably 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we'll throttle it. Again, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click cancel. So that's it. You click register. It'll if you did something wrong, it's going to tell you that you did something wrong. If you didn't do anything wrong, it's just going to work and go away. And now this is ready to use. Azure, again, it's super easy. The first thing you want to do is create a resource group. I'm signed into the portal.azure.com. You create a resource group. I already have one here called Cohesity. Within that, you create a storage account. It's right here. You click Add Storage Account. I already have one called CyberNorth Cohesity. And then you create containers. So go into container, create a new container. You give it a name. Give it access. Obviously, you don't want anonymous access, and that's really it. You don't need to worry about a lot of settings. And then go to your access keys, and you're going to copy an access key to your clipboard, and same thing. We're going to register an external target. It's going to be for archival purposes. We're going to pick Azure, and then this is where you say what kind of blob this is going to be. There's cost implications, right? So read up on what you want. Archive blob with Azure, the list price that they publish on the web, it ends up running about $1 per terabyte per month. So it's pretty affordable. So you'd pick the archive blob. Again, I'll go into mine so you can see. After that, you put in the container name that you created, you put in the storage account, you put in the key. I have this one set as an archive blob. Again, turn on encryption, compression, source side dedupe, incremental archive, and bandwidth throttling, configure that stuff. That's it. That's all you have to do. You've created your external targets. Now all you have to do is edit a policy. So you can see here, I have a couple of policies that have cloud configured. So I'll go ahead and open this policy up, and you can see my backup settings and everything, and then you can see my archive to Azure Cloud Archive. I've been using this one for quite a while, and I'm doing that every week and retaining for 6 months. I don't have anything set up for the AWS one. I'm only allowed 5 gig. What I ended up doing, because I wanted to make sure that it worked and things like that, is I went to the view that I have, the I get asked this a lot view. It used to be called department shares from a previous video, before I had my name figured out. So we'll go to protection, and all I did was edit this run. So that was really easy. You can just click on the protection group and edit run. So I'll do the same thing with this one. I'll say edit run, and then you can add replication or archival. So I'll go ahead and say, hey, I want to send this to S3. I want to keep this for 2 days out there, and click save. And that is, so you can do it either via a policy, like I showed you that I'm doing with the Azure. I have a lot more than 5 gig for free with Azure, because we're a Microsoft partner, and we're probably an AWS partner too, but I haven't figured that part out yet. And now you click into the backup run, go to Cloud Archive, and you can see that it is starting to copy data out there, right? That's really it, guys or girls. That's it. From there, you can do recoveries from those Cloud Archives, which is really easy to do. Let's see if I have anything out there that I could do this with quickly. I wasn't actually planning on doing this, so I apologize. Let me go to my protection group. I'll pick AHV backups because I know that one's going out there, and we'll pick this one, and we'll pick this. And if I scroll down enough, there we go. There's one of my Cloud Archive ones. And so you just click on the cloud. That's how you say that it's going to come from the cloud, and you select that recovery point, and then you go through and go through your recover options and everything, which I'm not going to do right now, but that's how you do it. So after you've started sending data out there, if you actually click down into either of these containers that are out there, you're going to start to see some folders that get created. Don't delete these. Amazon would totally let me go in and delete this folder. It would completely break all of the Cohesity stuff in the Cohesity UI. You wouldn't be able to recover your data. So don't do that. There's a few other things. When it comes to AWS, when you create an S3 bucket, you just want to kind of turn everything off. There's versioning and anything like that. Don't use any of that when you're doing this, right? And the same things, if we click into the Azure Blob, you can see the same folders. So that's everything that I wanted to show you. One thing that I'm going to do, just so you guys don't need to bother trying, and I don't need to black it out, is I'm going to go into my security credentials and go into the Cohesity archive and go here, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So now I don't have to black it out, and you guys can't access my data or send a whole bunch of stuff to me that I don't want. So thank you very much. I hope you find these useful. Please put some stuff in the comments. I haven't gotten any comments yet. I feel kind of bad about it. So, all right, everyone, until next time, thank you.